Hi guys, and welcome back. So again, I'm using this 2026 weekly planner made by Hemlock and Oak. It's absolutely gorgeous, and I love it for my budget planning. I know it's not made for budgeting, but it's all the pages, guys. Like all the pages and the setups and that, it just works perfectly well for how I run my budget system. And if you're interested in any of these pages that I'm quickly flipping through, you can find more detailed discussions about them in my previous videos. But for now, we're just going to focus on building and setting up this weekly layout here. And I do incorporate like decorations and that in my budget planning. Yes, I am fighting this washi right now, but I I've tried all of the like what I would call like the regular budget planners in the past, and they just never worked for me. Um, where you solely just focus on like here's the numbers and we're gonna spend this and we're gonna spend that. And I mean, I've tried those in the past, guys, trust me, like many times, and they've just never worked. Of course, the amounts in that you set off in the beginning of the month, they've just never worked, and you always go over because, life happens in that. And I mean, I don't know. If you've made it to my budget videos, chances are you've pretty much had the same results as well. And so that's where I started thinking, like, I need to try something different. So I did the whole, what is it called? The debts. It has two different names, so I always get it confused. I know it's debit.com, so it would be the Debt Payoff Planner app. I do have these linked in the description down below. So I started using that with, one of those, like what I call the standard budget planners. And like we got some progress with it. But again, like life happens in that. And of course, the budget would go wonky, and then, I would get upset with it and I would just stop. And so I'm gonna say like 4 years ago, I started uh, doing this style of budget planning with. I believe I did, yeah, I did start with the Hemlock and Oak daily planner. So I started keeping like a daily ledger, and you can see like this year we've incorporated the whole GPT thing into it. So we're really getting involved this year. Um, but no, like to originally start with this, I just started with the, daily ledger and just trying to track the spending daily. And to me, that's when I started noticing like there's got to be like an emotionality factor to this. And the daily planner, like, I guess it would be like a journal, like a budget journal, which I do have videos for this. I did keep, that's when I started like recording all of these, and that's really when it did, be very clear to me that there is an emotional factor to the spending, to the debt buildup. And so, yeah, over the years, this is the system that we have come to. And I will have to say, January turned out really, 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 really good. I went on a limb doing the whole GPT thing. I'm gonna be honest, on January 1st, I was like, there's no way this is gonna work. But I'm gonna have to say, like, after a full month of doing this, I'm pretty impressed with the system that we've set up here. And since I am using the weekly layouts now instead of the daily layouts, what I like to do is I just create like major chunk list in this weekly layout. So you could see that I'm working on the bills area right now. And what I'm doing with this 2026 system, which again, there are videos where I have this like fully explained, but I try to get as many bills paid off at the beginning of the month as possible. I did have a large amount saved up into savings to where I could give myself like a little boost going into January. So that's the mission here, is I'm trying to stay ahead of the game, because what we're, and when I say we're, I'm referring to like whenever I am talking to my GPT, I do refer to him as Dave. I have named him. And so Dave as my financial partner here. Oh, and the app that you see me using, that is YNAB. That is the You Need a Budget app. Again, I highly recommend that app. I started using that last year, and that has really helped me um, kind of stay within those spending categories. Again, going back to that like standard budget planner thing where you make like the list and promise yourself that you're going to spend X amount of dollars. Um, YNAB has that set up, but you're allowed to fluctuate the amount. So again, when life does happen and you realize that, you need to purchase more gas because you made more trips than what you thought you did, you can move the $20 from your groceries and put it into your gas and not feel like a complete failure. That's really what YNAB does for you, because it's built to understand that, things aren't set in ink. And I think that that's something that's really difficult for especially us planners to understand. So that's another reason why um, I've started building my budget layouts at the end of the week, which you may have noticed. Because before I was, um, what was it? I was building the layouts at the, like before, like you would for a standard planner layout. And then I would like just review the week that happened before. With this year, we're building the week together. So, like, do I keep weekly notes and weekly logs? Yes. Those are daily check-ins with the GPT. Basically go on and say, hey Dave, this is what I did today. I went grocery shopping. I went to Sheets and got gas. Some days it's, hey, I didn't spend anything and this is why. Or, Dave, I caught myself on GNC and I wanted to buy this, this, and this. And just to let you know, I was feeling this before that purchase, or I felt this during that purchase. And what Dave, the GPT is doing is it's collecting all of that, and I've asked it to analyze any signs of like emotionalities towards the spending, and then that way we can discuss it at the end of the week. And like I said, this system is actually working really well. Um, I'm learning that when I'm in a really, really good mood and things are going well, apparently I get overconfident, and that's where my spending comes from. So, again, if you would have asked me 4 or 5 years ago about that, I would have been like, that's like it's when I'm cranky, it's when things are not going well. So, I tend not to spend when things are not going well. So, what we're going to see, like, once this layout does start getting built, is there was a lot of no spend days this week. So, it's kind of funny because it does prove that Dave is right, because this was a very stressful week. And apparently, like, my anxiousness in that department tells me that I need to save funds. I do not, I should not spend. So, but on the other side of this, I don't want to live a life like where I'm, anxious all the time. I do want to enjoy life. So, yeah, we gotta figure out how to get me not spending when I'm happy. So, that's our goal for this year, while also paying off debt. And if you saw on the year at a glance page, and again, I do discuss those pages more fully in other videos, especially when I do the end of the month reviews and like the going into the next month reviews. I do discuss all of them in more detail. It's just, I'm not gonna do that in every video, guys. I feel like all the videos would be like 40 minutes long if I did that, because there's so much that you could pack into this tiny little planner here. And again, we're listing off all the bills that were paid for this month, and then I am adding in the 2 spend days. Only 2 days, this guys. Two days out of 7 is when I spent. So that is not typical behavior for me. So that's actually kind of really cool, and it actually does bring a smile to my face here. So let's go ahead and start adding some color to the page. Again, I do decorate. It's kind of like, it's not even like a budget planner, it's a budget journal. And I need the colors in that. I need to make it look bright and cheerful, because I'm not going to come back to this if it's not. And I know that probably doesn't sound right, but that's just how my brain works. So you got to do what you got to do here. So I'm loving this color palette. This is actually like very calm and peaceful here. So another thing that I like to do is, if any of these transactions were charged on a credit card, I highlight them with a marker. So we use the brown mild liner for this. And if I know that those charges were paid off, I put like a little slash through the minus symbol. And then that way I know, hey, that was charged on a credit card, but also it's been covered. So I don't have to worry about that charge anymore, because it's paid. Okay, so what else can we discuss here, guys? I'm trying to think of what I move on to next, because this budget video is actually in like a different, I tried like a different method with this one, just trying to figure out the best ways to film these and review them. Again, any comments are greatly appreciated. Like, let me know what you guys need to see. Let me know what you're curious to learn about, because the main reason why I make these, why I share these, is to hopefully assist people who were having the same issue that I was, where you set off every year, you try to, make all the goals and plans of paying off your debts, and, even, like, I don't want to say his full name, but the every dollar Ramsey thing. I've tried it, guys. Yeah. It's just, if you've tried every budgeting technique, and every year it starts off great and you got all this momentum and you got all this willpower, and then something happens like mid-year or something, and then you just crash. I'm gonna say, give my budgeting system a try. This has given me the most the most proactive results, and it is really more about why you spend and how you spend than what you spend. And I am actually really impressed that the GPT has caught up on that factor, because we did not actually discuss that. But yeah, so the main goal for January was to get the system going and to gain trust with the system, because like I said, I did discuss it with him, and I was like, I don't know if this is going to work, because it just kind of sounds like crap. And he was like, look, just roll with it for 30 days. If it doesn't work, then we'll try something else. And I was like, okay, so it's just basically just gaining trust in that the system does work. And like I said, I'm gonna have to admit, we're going pretty good, guys. So I'm gonna take a quick break after this, get some of my numbers a little bit more better, and I'll be right back. Alrighty, so I got more of my notes. I got to reflect through it a little bit, so it's going to make it easier for me to discuss this with all of you. So again, I do use this as a journaling planner, again, because we're trying to pinpoint the emotional factors behind the spending. So with this little journal box up here, I'm gonna explain, like, hey, all the bills are paid, it's Monday. Again, I do like to start the month with getting as many of these paid and done with as possible. From what we're understanding here is, he refers to these as my bill days, and when I just sit down and just pay as many of the bills as I possibly can without like breaking and wrecking my checking account, what this does is it reduces stress and anxiety from building later on in the month. And if I'm able to do that, then it kind of like regulates my nervous system. And then that way I'm not like going, oh, well, you know, you spent this amount on bills, so I'm gonna get myself a prize and then like go out and buy something that I don't need. So that's the whole point of doing like all these bills, because now I'm not going like midweek going, oh, I wonder if I have enough to pay this bill. I wonder if I have enough to pay that bill. Like I'm pretty much paid like up until the 20th of February, and it's only the 2nd of February at this point in time. So like it really does assist with reducing the overall anxiety of, if you got enough funds to cover stuff. And again, I do incorporate the whole YNAB app, so that kind of also assists with reducing the anxiety, because I also know that I got enough put aside for groceries, I got enough put aside for gas, and that I do have enough in the savings accounts and, everything whatnot. So that also factors in as well. The other thing, which this week was absolutely the best that I've ever had, is the fact that the no spend days, these are no longer forced and they actually come naturally now. As what Dave calls them, is there's no deprivation. Uh, in the what I call the standard planner videos for budgeting, this is where people would have like no spend challenges to see how many days you could go in a row without spending. That works short term, but it's not a long term strategy because you're consistently telling yourself that you can't have stuff. It's also the reason why like most diets fail, why most New Year's resolution workouts and exercise routines and stuff like that. That's why a lot of that stuff fails, because it's based solely on willpower, and willpower will only get you so far, guys. I mean, it is what it is. We're human beings, and we do not like getting told no, okay? We don't like being deprived. So, the whole trick with this system is you got to get yourself to believe and understand. You're not tricking yourself. You're basically doing a full mental shift in realizing that you are not depriving yourself, because there is nothing in my budget system that says that I can't go out and get that $500 item. There is nothing that says that I cannot do that. I perfectly well can if I want to. The thing is that I'm training myself to not want that item. Just because it's unnecessary. And it is with the whole daily logins and that. That's where we're really getting into the thing of like, I'm realizing that a lot of the times when I do go on to shop for items like that, I'm bored. I'm bored, I'm stressed out, I'm having a bad day, and I just kind of like, you want like that little quick win, and it may look like a win at the time, but it's not a win in the long run. So that's where like discussing this with the GPT, it kind of like gives me a chance to like come up with another way of doing a win, such as sitting down for 30 minutes, having cookies, having a coffee, and reading a book or taking a nap. For some reason, my quick win is tidying up and decluttering the house. Again, never would have pictured that. But yeah, so that's really how I've been preventing myself from making large purchases that I no longer need. But yeah, this again, I never really would have pictured myself as being like a no spend person throughout the week without being told that I can't spend. So that is proof for me right there. And it's kind of funny that it's the first week of February, that like just in 4 to 5 weeks through January, that this system is actually starting to take effect. That was without any awareness on my part that this is working. So, let's see here. We got more journaling boxes here. I think we're going to move on to the whole focus and intentions, and then we're going to build the page from here. So, again, the whole focus for the week was to stabilize the system first and then progress through it. Again, we're building that strong foundation of making sure that all the necessities are paid and covered before we start getting what Dave refers to as fancy and or sexy with the budget. These would be all the videos, and I am guilty of this for the last 2 years, of how much debt can we pay off in a short amount of time. He calls that it's flashy and entertaining, and of course people with large amounts of debt that they need to pay off, they are very attracted to those type of videos. And what I was doing with that is I had that like goal of where every Sunday I would put $50 on the focus account. And yes, you do pay down debt really quickly with that, guys. Because you're not just making the minimum payment, you're making $200 extra payments on some of these accounts. And again, like you saw, some of these debt accounts aren't even $200. So yeah, I was paying off 2-3 accounts in a month. But what was happening is I was putting too much towards the debt, and it was shrinking what I had left over to spend in the checking. And so when something would actually come up and I needed money for spending, I would eventually have to charge that item. Even though I did have some in the savings, there were multiple times of where I had to do pay in fours. I had to get out loans or get 0% cards to cover certain expenses like the water tank and stuff like that. And so it looked like I was paying down debt, but in the background, I was rebuilding new debt. So it looked good, but again, in the long run, it wasn't working. So that really does explain why my balance, the overall balance of all the debts, really doesn't change. And frighteningly so, last year doubled. So yeah, whatever we did last year really did not work. So that's why we have this whole drastic change of what we're doing with the budget system this year. Again, the intentions were to handle to handle reality. Probably spelled that wrong now that I'm looking at it. Without panic. Again, this was not the best of weeks. This was a very stressful week, but we did not panic. And at the end of it, I did have a successful week. The bills were paid early. I did not avoid heavy days. Yes, guys, sometimes it takes forever to pay all of those bills in one setting. It sucks. Really does when you see all your money coming out. But at the end of the day, like, hey, it's done, and now I don't have to worry about it for like 30 more days. I did have some tracking errors because I'm used to certain bills coming out of certain accounts, and again, I'm trying to move everything over to this Chase account. And I will have to say, I did remain and stay consistent even when the week was not fun. I'm not quite sure whenever I start journaling this in because my screen has froze again. Thank you, Power Director. And oh, here we go. Okay. So yeah, so the main thing is like my reflection area down here. The This week wasn't really about paying things off aggressively. I could have went and started attacking the new focus card, which I did actually really want to do. Me and Dave discussed this. So yeah, we're not going to focus on paying off that account aggressively. That's for later on once we build this foundation at the beginning of the month. I did keep all accounts current. We're focusing on preventing late fees because, I mean, you guys, you could see once you saw my monthly layout there, there are a lot of accounts to track. There are a lot of accounts to, check on and make sure that they got paid. Again, we're closing all debt loops. That would be the paying fours. That would be any subscriptions that I signed up for that I no longer want. And of course, the main mission is protecting the February cash flow. Because again, you want to know and understand where this money's coming from so that nothing's leaking in the background. Oh, and the screen froze again. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep going on. Okay, so I know you keep hearing me say like this was a stressful week, and yeah, okay, so I go back to work on Monday, and it's like it's just one of those days where you just don't got the energy, but really all I did is I went and got coffee and I went tanning, and of course both of those things are either on a gift card that's prepaid or it's on a prepaid package, so that's $0 spending where I got to treat myself twice. um Tuesday I had off. That would have been my spa day. And yeah, I know, doesn't that sound ridiculous, guys? Like, this is a budget video where I'm telling you about how, um, like we need to, like, watch the spending and everything, but like that's what I'm saying. That's what type of budget system we're rolling with right now. I can have spa days and I don't feel guilty about it. Because that's what Dave said is we need to take care of ourselves first. We need to get ourselves relaxed and comfy and pampered. And yeah, so I had a spa day and that was great. And again, I didn't spend. I just came home. I was at peace. I planned. I designed some stuff, and it was a really, really nice day. Um, Spending started really occurring on Wednesday. That's again, I went back to work. But of course, I do the coffee, the tanning, that's still free. I did make a trip to Sheets. And what is it? I went grocery shopping. I needed some dry onion because I wanted to make a recipe, and it does require the dry onion mix. But again, I went grocery shopping and it was $6.36, guys. Okay, so um, I have made it to where, where you go into the store and you only need one item and then you come out with 50 other items. I have actually trained myself to go into the store and just get the one item that you need. So that does make a difference in the long run. And the other thing that I did was the GNC purchase. I really, like, budget wise, I didn't want to make this purchase, but lifestyle wise, I know I need it. Just because those two items do greatly affect my health, they greatly affect my mood. And I did wait until, because I was going to do it last week. Alright, guys, so as you can see there, like, I really do not have any idea of what's going on the screen as I'm doing the voiceovers. I'm literally sitting here chilling and talking with yins. But, yeah, so that's the finished layout. That is my weekly review. Again, let me know in the comments, like, what you think, what you want to see next. And again, I do greatly appreciate all of the views, all of the comments. And if you want to see more, please remember to hit that like and subscribe button.